I searched through $5,000 in $1 bills to find star notes that collectors are actually paying to own. I found 37 total, including some with really low print totals, low run sizes, and even one from the infamous 2013B duplicate serial number series. In this video, I'll show you the star notes I found, explain what makes each one rare or common, and compare them to recent eBay sales comps so you can see what similar notes have been selling for. I'll start with the more common ones, work toward the rarest, and at the end, give an overall estimate of what this batch might be worth based on the comps. Now, let's get into the 31 common star notes I found. Here are the first 9, and you'll notice that under each bill, there are 2 key stats, the run size and the total printed. These are the 2 main numbers I use to help gauge how rare a star note is, and in general, the lower these numbers, the rarer the note. 30 of the bills I found in this group have a run size of 3.2 million, and there's one with a run size of 1.28 million. So while these are fun to find, all of these would be considered common star notes. For context, run sizes of 640,000 or lower is where star notes start to be considered rare. Now, if you want a deeper breakdown of how to tell if a star note is rare, including what run size and total printed actually mean, and where to find that info, I have a separate video that dives into all of that. I'll link it below if you want to check it out later after this one. Now, let's look at how these more common star notes are doing on the resale market. Over the past few months, the lowest I've seen similar circulated notes sell for is $2, which gives us a floor to work up from. But over the past week alone, I found 10 different comps covering 15 bills that have averaged a sale price of $3.05 per bill. So based on that, I'm estimating each of these common star notes to be worth somewhere between $2 to $3 each. Next up is a star note I found with a run size of just 500,000, which already puts it in the rare category. But this one's got another layer of added value. It's also miscut with a noticeably thin lower margin. So let's break down what similar notes have been selling for. First, I looked at recent eBay sales for star notes with a 500,000 run size, and the average selling price over the past month was $5.05 per bill. Then I pulled comps for miscut bills, specifically ones with that same thin lower margin for the most accurate comparison, and those averaged $10.83 per bill. Next, I narrowed in on comps for miscut star notes and found 2 sales, one a little less rare than mine and the other a little more rare. The average selling price between those two was $14.87. Now, let's do some quick math. If we subtract the face value from the average sale prices of the 500,000 run size comps and the miscut bill comps, and then add them together, the above face value average comes out to $13.88 per bill. Then, if we subtract the face value from the average sale price of the miscut star note comps, the above face value average is $13.87 per bill. So those 2 numbers are nearly identical, which gives me a solid foundation to estimate mine from. So I'm estimating the value of my note between $12 to $15. Next, I found these 2 star notes that each have a run size of just 250,000. This is the next tier up in run size rarity from the last note that I found. 250,000 is a fairly rare run size, and I expected the selling average to be noticeably more than the 500,000 run size average of $5.05. But when I checked eBay comps over the past couple months for similar star notes, the average sale price came out to $5.39 per bill. A majority of these comps sold for under the $5.39 average, so to stay on the conservative side, I'm estimating the value of these 2 notes I found at $4 to $6 each. My next find is a star note that takes things a step further. Not only does it have a 250,000 run size, but the total print size is also just 250,000. That's a big deal because the other 250,000 run size notes I showed earlier came from total print runs of about 11 million and 3.5 million, which makes this one far more rare overall. Looking at recent eBay comps from the past couple months, the average sale price was $18.43 per bill. Half of the comps fall below the average and the others sit above it, so I'm confidently hugging that midpoint and estimating the value of this bill at $18 to $19. My next find was this star note with a run size of just 80,000, one of the lowest I've ever come across while bank strap hunting. Over the past several months, there have only been 4 comps to pull from, and 2 of those sold for surprisingly low considering how scarce this run size actually is. Across those sales, the average price landed at $22.43 per bill. And that most recent sale was also the highest, coming in at almost $45, but it's worth noting that bill had a bit more appeal than mine since it featured 4 leading zeros, which qualifies it as a semi-low serial number. That likely gave it a bump in value. Even so, that sale still sets a strong upper marker, especially with current eBay listings for similar notes starting around $47 and up. Taking all of that into account, the rarity, the recent sale activity, and the current market, I think my bill lands north of the average, and I'm estimating its value at somewhere between $30 and $40. This last find might seem a little out of order since earlier in the video I said I would be going from the least rare to the most rare, and technically the last couple of star notes I went over are more rare when only comparing the 250,000 total print size or the 80,000 run size to this bill. But this last star note has two distinct layers of rarity going for it. First, it's part of the 2013 B duplicate serial number star note series, which is a unique error caused by two print facilities accidentally printing bills with matching serial numbers. Second, this particular note comes from one of the only duplicate serial number runs that also has a low run size of just 250,000. I won't go too deep here into what star notes have the duplicate serial numbers or how to identify them because I have a separate video that breaks all of that down in more detail. I'll link that in the description to check out if you want a full explanation. Now back to this specific note. There has only been one recent sale and it went for about $55. That seemed low to me, so I dug deeper into eBay's historical data to look at sales over this past year. And there have been 6 additional sales with an average selling price of $102.50. Now it does look like the prices have dipped a bit in more recent months, but even so, I think the most recent comp sold for less than what it could have, given the note's rarity. Considering that, and the fact that current listings for this exact bill are starting at $100 and going up, I'm placing a conservative value on mine somewhere in the range of $75 to $90. Here's the full breakdown of the star notes I found during this round of searching and their total value. Altogether, the total estimated value of this group is between $205 to $269. And just to put this all into perspective, these results came from 5 trips to the bank over the course of a week, mostly using the same $1,000 to trade in and out for new straps each time. Plus, this recap only covers the star notes I found. It doesn't include any of the fancy serial numbers or older notes I came across during the same search. So this is just a portion of the overall value I found in this $5,000 bank strap search. If you found this breakdown helpful and you're into star notes or flipping currency for profit, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos like these. And if you found any cool star notes in your own searches, drop a comment and let me know. I always enjoy hearing what's being found.